Welcome to day 108 of the New Way. I'll read Matthew 8:28 through 34. When he arrived at the other side of the region of the Gadarenes, 2 demon-possessed men coming from the tombs met him. They were so violent that no one could pass that way. "What do you want with us, Son of God?" they shouted. "Have you come here to torture us before the appointed time?" Some distance from them, a large herd of pigs was feeding. The demons begged Jesus, "If you drive us out, send us into the herd of pigs." He said to them, "Go." So they came out and went into the pigs, and the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the lake and died in the water. Those tending the pigs ran off, went into the town, and reported all this, including what had happened to the demon-possessed men. Then the whole town went out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they pleaded with him to leave their region. First, you need to know that the region of the Gadarenes, or Gerasene, or Gergesenes, various translations, was an area of Galilee, but it was on the other side of the Sea of Galilee. Gadarenes were people from the little town of Gadara. All of these were names of residents of small villages located on the plain of Gennesaret. No one knows the exact place where this incident took place. If you have ever lived in a small town, you know that sometimes people just lump you into the next larger town or area and don't delineate it well. The first thing I note is that the demons knew exactly who Jesus was. They also knew exactly what God intended for them in the end. Satan and all his demons will be punished in hell for all eternity. Here the demons asked Jesus if he came to start their punishment early. They knew his power, and they knew he was the boss. I'll read Mark's version in Mark 5:1 through 20. They went across the lake to the region of the Gerasenes. When Jesus got out of the boat, a man with an impure spirit came from the tombs to meet him. This man lived in the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, not even with a chain. For he had often been chained hand and foot, but he tore the chains apart and broke the irons on his feet. No one was strong enough to subdue him. Night and day among the tombs and in the hills, he would cry out and cut himself with stones. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and fell on his knees in front of him. He shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In God's name, don't torture me." For Jesus had said to him, "Come out of this man, you impure spirit." Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "My name is Legion," he replied, "for we are many." And he begged Jesus again and again not to send them out of the area. A large herd of pigs was feeding on the nearby hillside. The demons begged Jesus, "Send us among the pigs. Allow us to go into them." He gave them permission, and the impure spirits came out and went into the pigs. The herd, about 2,000 in number, rushed down the steep bank into the lake and were drowned. Those tending the pigs ran off and reported this in the town and countryside, and the people went out to see what had happened. When they came to Jesus, they saw the man who had been possessed by the legion of demons sitting there, dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. Those who had seen it told the people what had happened to the demon-possessed man, and told about the pigs as well. Then the people began to plead with Jesus to leave their region. As Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had been demon-possessed begged to go with him. Jesus did not let him, but said, "Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you." So the man went away and began to tell in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed. Note that there were 2 men mentioned in the Matthew account, yet Mark only mentions 1. Since Matthew was most likely an eyewitness, I'm going to side with Matthew. I wonder if maybe only one of the men became a follower of Jesus, which caused Mark and Luke, we'll look at Luke's account tomorrow, to mention only one man. We won't know until we get to heaven and ask. Mark gives us more description about the man's misery. He also indicates that the man fell at Jesus' feet. But note, it was not to worship him, but rather to beg for mercy. Mark also tells us more about there being multiple demons living within the man. They had possessed him so that they spoke for him and controlled all his actions. How sad. Did Jesus grant their request? And why? I'm not sure. I've heard various theories that indicate that the demons would have wandered around seeking a body to live in if he had not sent them into the pigs. Luke indicates that they were begging to not be thrown into hell. Did the demons die when the pigs died? I don't know the answers to this. All I know is that the pigs inhabited by the demons ran off a cliff and died. But Mark also tells us more details about what the man looked like after the demons left him. I'll reread Mark 5:15. When they came to Jesus, they saw the man who had been possessed by the legion of demons sitting there, dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. When the people asked Jesus to leave, what did he do? He left. What happened to the healed man after Jesus left? I'll read Mark 5:20. So the man went away and began to tell in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed. That was some testimony. We'll continue to look at this incident more tomorrow. In his service, Dale.